What's, oh, that's just the framework. Yeah, that goes through that, which is... No, you could still weld that, so that's not a problem. So that's my little diesel storage when it works. But at least that actually does the job. I'm quite pleased with that. That is amazing. So massive shout out to Akimobile, because really I couldn't have done this without it. I suppose I could actually put a bit of metalwork up to that where that could clamp to it. But I could also alter the node a little bit so that it's slightly in a different place. It would be ideal if I could clamp it on the side. The only thing is you've got to remember is this model, if you switch on the side panels and that you can have, then this has got to go inside that. So probably inside that particular thing, so it would clamp onto the... Mind you, if you did do that, it's got to really be on the outside. Yeah, some like loops that would go onto the side bit would be the best sort of thing. But yeah, apart from that, the reality is it is actually working. So I'm quite pleased with that. Yeah, I've done the eyes where the tiger's eyes would be. It's a very poor model, it is. It's only these skins that actually make it look somewhat like, which I've also done on the framework at the back, which is true tiger skin done as a diffuse. So yeah, it's I'm quite pleased with this. So this is probably like Mr. Silly Peasy's Land Rover. This is the BI Industry car, but it needs a little bit of fixing. It's not quite, but I'm quite impressed, because normally you'll crash and burn much worse than that on a first outing with any kind of mod, or it's really not working terribly well. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with this. No, we still need that on for that. Oh, you did metalize it. I thought I did. Yeah, I've tried to metal the... oh no, because it is I think that one is a metal one anyway, the actual... Although I think I metalled everything. Yeah, it is a specialised pallet. It still can be like grabbed as a pallet, I think. It is a modified pallet that is my own. So yeah, you can see the metalwork inside the canister, so it would cope with pressure. So you can get more compressed fuel in that rather than... yeah, than like... But I mean, so I could have just kept it like that, and actually, but I just thought I really would like to do this properly, where we've got like what I need to do really, I suppose, what I could do is do away with the fact that this is a tipper and like remove that section and only have mine as a flatbed, and then it would make more sense, because I could stick a water tank on this, which then makes a little bit of sense, because I've always thought of this when you got those that come out of air. Really, this little car, if it had a water tank, would absolutely be fine. It really... I know we know it's cheeky because it'll never run out, but apart from that, it would be fillable. You could like fill it up and use it on the farm quite a few times. So I'm very impressed with that. So anyway, all that remains to be said is thank you very much for watching. I'd love to hear from yourselves on your thoughts of any of these. Yeah, I'm quite pleased. I'm especially pleased with that. That is... I'm trying to think of a price point for that. Rawley Christie's was 150,000 for his metal sort of sheeted one. His came with an enclosure that was fixed, whereas obviously nearly all of the enclosures in FS25 are all expandable, which I actually like. This has got manure switched on internally, which is another reason why I don't think Giants would pass it. Oh, they are. Yeah, they are actually going into the ground. So, and they're the proper Giants model, so why is it non-zeroing my... Yeah, some of these legs were wrong. My big ones were actually hovering in the air, so I've had to like make those bigger. But the Giants model, I thought they were all... You'd expect them to be right, because obviously it's the Giants model. So I must have altered the level or something internally without sort of understanding that I did. So you can still open the gate, but you'll not see the gate open, because I've like switched off almost all of the thing, but I'll now be able to walk through it because it's now open. So yeah, no, this should still be filled with water. Yeah, I've not altered anything. Straw plane is there. You can see little tiny bits of straw. What I thought I might do was increase the concrete slab section here, so that is like all the way the grufty concrete, as you know, that's a bit mucky, old worn concrete. I might actually put the slab completely on this sort of section to make a bit of sense. Although wouldn't that put the costs up? Maybe I'll remove the concrete and leave it like bare earth. That might be better, because what we're trying to do is show, and although it's got a feeding robot, which I might put an additional cost on, so you could do it without the Lely. Yeah, that is probably a better option. I need to go back to the XML and like give you an option of having this without the Lely, and then add probably 50 grand on for the Lely or something like that. I'm sure it's probably more than that, but we make it's all, yeah, well, I suppose I probably do need to BI this so it makes sense of why it's so cheap. Really, yeah, it does. I probably do metal sort of sheets on that as well, make it a Lely building like that I've done. And again, this is a rough thing that at present is not, yeah, there's no, but again, it could be that you could have that as storage, and then it would be quite an asset. That second floor above there, if that were the collision on, would be really quite a huge thing. And I could, I suppose, if I put another layer of the big thick supports in that middle sort of down there, that would seriously support that floor to the point where it really would be good. And obviously it would be have a suspended concrete floor in between the metal, which is quite a thick sheet anyway, so that would be like, yeah, encased with concrete in the middle. That probably would be, again, these aren't quite cheap to make. I mean, these are what we're throwing up all the time, the latest buildings, so this type of thing. Anyway, I'm waffling. So all that remains to be said is thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to stick with me on different journeys. And I'm going to say goodbye for now. Hello and welcome. Right now then, this is going to be a bit of a monster session. I was just checking on my water levels and that over here while I started. That's filled again. So yeah, I probably do need another greenhouse, but for now we've got very little cash, but that is about to change. It is. So then let's crack on. I've made some alterations to this. It now has got, yeah, there is a toolbox that's on this all of the time, and there is the toolbox that I've stuck on there, and there's also a lance that actually does work. It's not, and this is thanks to Akimobile. I literally looked at how he did it in his XML and on the i3D just to sort of see, well, how can I do this? Because I would have had I can get the model, but I'm not sure that I would have figured out the XML side of things without his help. So yeah, I added the lance thanks to Akimobile. Again, it's a work in progress. It's not finished. I've now got to like go back and do other things. It has also got a diesel, but it doesn't work. Yeah, the diesel thing, you can see that it recognizes the storage but doesn't recognize how to fill it. Yeah, so you won't feel if I go under diesel, or even, oh, we should see, I've not been to a pallet, so let's see what it says if you go next to a pallet. No, so it's not, won't fill from a pallet or anything like that, won't recognize a buy point to fill at the minute, but they say this is its maiden voyage, so I must have missed something that I should have done to do that. So yeah, it's sort of working, sort of. Okay, so the Orion is our, so what do we need to, that's right. Now then, I'm not sure, I might have stuffed this up. I'm trying to work on some pallets. Pallets are the things I've spent the most time on because they're really important, because I do a lot of placeables. So I have just changed my pallets, and I don't know if they're gonna like them or not. So only for the milk-based things, I have done new pallets. So now that's funny because it does usually spawn them. So I've literally replaced these. So if we like stick those pallets away, will they spawn as a new pallets? Normally with the pallets, if you like come back into the game, I've actually seen them. They actually respawn the pallets. So let's just move these pallets out of the way. I want to see if my new pallets will spawn, or whether the game doesn't any longer recognise the pallets as working, because this is a real biggie for myself. Because if I can get this to work, which I have done with the Packinator, but I have not. So let's just grab. This is sort of testing, so I'm going to try and grab as many as possible, which I normally wouldn't probably try to do. Well, I don't know, I usually try to grab 4 anyway, so let's go to the left, grab 2, and then go to the right, which shouldn't take long. Let's just So 10,000 litres. So if we drop those in there, do they come back out as the new pallets, or does the game like not know what to do? Now it's going to take a few seconds anyway. Yeah, but this is the sort of, for me myself, like as a content creator and as a modder as well, this is the sort of thing which is the life. This is the thing that pallets are a bit of a strange one, really, in so much as they don't really give an error per se. They just don't work if like you've done something wrong. Now I know these pallets work because I use them elsewhere, but I'm trying to inject them into another mod, so I can easily have made a silly mistake in spelling or something like that, where it just doesn't understand what I've actually done to, you know, for this to actually work. Now the important thing is that the mod itself knows, but the fact that it's not spawned any of these again means it's really not taking any attention at all of the new palette, which means, being as I've changed the old palette to the new palette, it means they won't spawn. So it means I've got to go outside and grab them, because it's yeah, if I like switch on developer mode, you'll see it doesn't like moan about spawning pallets not working or anything like that. Now a few times, if it's a really serious error, it will, and that sort of proves that it's not complaining about something not being right. There's no graphics file that it's saying, oh, you've not done the right compression, or you've not like, what's that? What was that? I'm not sure, but it's nothing. Yeah, so you can see there's no errors per se, but it does refuse to actually spawn the pallets, which this is something I've seen before, where you just, yeah, so what can we, I need to go out of the game. As simple as that. There is no other way. Yeah, so these are all being spawned. We have chucked them back in, and you can see that is actually true, but it's like not respawning them, and then they all are on spawn. So it's like going, I don't understand what your pallet is. So I'm going to pop out. Ah, there it is. Yeah, there is a, I think it's like to spawn your pallets or something like that. So I think that's another thing you can do. If you can tell spawn goods, if you say buffalo milk pallet 7,000, so you recognises the size and everything. So we just told it to spawn, and it saw that it was 7,000 litres, but it's saying, I don't know how to do that. That's so you can see it's not quite right. So I'm going to be right back. See you shortly. Right, I'm still making this a bit of a mod test. So I've changed the buffalo, the milk, and all I've got in the new that we've got, obviously it's based upon what pallets will spawn, so these should now be back to their original 5,000 litre pallets, and they are. So these are all the buffalo milk ones. Yeah, the butter is supposed to spawn in the new one. I don't think it's going to work, so but we may as well crack on, because this is a way of me seeing. Now I've used this with the packinator, as in, yeah, like, which is a belt system that packs into multiple things, and it does actually allow you to do this. Now that might be because it's a bit special, so we're going to see if, like, we clear this thing. If it doesn't do the butter, then I am right that there's obviously certain things that you learn as a modder that you cannot do, and this is sort of how you would like teach yourself, well, this is a constraint of the game, that each pallet has got to be unique. You know, as in, like, the model can be the same, but you need to declare the palette or the field type in its own palette. You can't, like, have one that does multiple things, and that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm thinking that's what this is teaching me. Yeah, so far, if I do multiple field types, it will not spawn the palette. So yeah, and you can see the spaces, so the only thing it's really been able to do is this, yeah, which is the one thing I've changed back to its unique palette again of the things we've got, as I say. Yeah, so it's basically laughing at me and saying, no, you can't do that, you cannot do that, you're not allowed. So it does look very much like, as I have always done, I was sort of trying to study pallets, because it really is a very powerful aspect of the game. Obviously, yeah, you can see I can change the size of the pallet, which is the entire reason I did make these into special pallets, was the fact that I, as a content creator, if you're dealing with hundreds of thousands of liters or of product, it was, the loading was taking me so long that I thought I could do with like 5-ton pallets instead of, like, I mean, you could do more, but I don't want not to be loading. I don't want it to be an excuse to never load or anything like that. But I do want better, like bigger capacity. Now then, that's gonna be messy. So yeah, you can see the fact that they're all told to spawn, that nothing else is spawning. So it does look very much like that. I have found a rule that the game is sort of saying, well, you're not allowed to do that. That's why I'm like, there's no error. And this is what I frequently found. Sometimes I've asked for the AI to assist me on doing things, and it too sometimes makes great leaps of faith. I've got to be honest, I've stopped using it an awful lot because it's wasted about 2 full days of my time. Now obviously I come from an IT background, so I'm quite used to scripts, and the syntax or the programming is perfect, as in the language looks right, but the game doesn't ever say there's an error. It just says I can't do it by not doing what you ask it to do. So yeah, it's far better for me to look at someone else's mod that did something similar and see, well, how do you do that? Because obviously there is no modding school. There is only, well, there is, and that is looking at people's i3D, which people hate that. The bottom line is there's no other way a modder can learn, because people don't want you to mod because they earn money from it, so therefore it's that age-old thing that you're stealing my money type mentality, so people don't really want to sort of show you. But obviously in XMLs and the i3Ds, people do leave. Now again, some modders do make it so complex that it's difficult to see what they've done. That's quite a common practice. Whereas me personally, I've always left all of my, if I did have a mod hobby, I'm leaving my mods the same as a lot of, no, we're going to need to go out and change these back to what they should be. So it has taught me something, and that is, one of those invisible things again on the floor that's there that shouldn't be there. Yeah, so I shall put the pallets back, and we should get this respawned, so I'm going to see you shortly. Right, I've swapped the milk and the butter back, so we can see now that is, but what I have done, no, that's it, the milk bottled, but I have left the butter. What I'm trying to sort of decipher is whether or not it will spawn in basically what I've done is, in a pallet, I've declared lots of different fill types. So, and I know this works, it has worked for other things, but maybe productions are slightly different. So so the conflict was not, there's only one pallet left that it can spawn, so it doesn't conflict with this. So the milk bottled is back in this. So we now need to grab this and stack it. And if the other pallets, then what I realise it is that you need to declare inside the pallet only one fill type. Yeah, and that is strange, because in the Baconator, I've declared this exactly the same, but because that's loose, it seems to... Ooh, it's a little bit too close to that. Okay, I must remember that. It's a bit too close. Yeah, right, so yeah, let's stick that on there. Yeah, I've done that before. It must be too close to the... pushing it into the grate. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, if I lift it, or if I strapped them, now that's the real answer. Now that my chevrons are not quite right as well, that's actually coming forwards a little bit. Yeah, if you strap them like that, it stops that happening. Yeah, it doesn't let it. Ooh, yeah. No, it's still milk bottled. It really is. That's now then, that is true. If I drop this onto it's above the level, so I don't know. Again, these are something I've always been intrigued in, even when I was a player, was the sets of rules that the game plays by. Like, as in, not to exploit it, but to understand how it works. I've always been very much, that's been a thing throughout my entire life. I'm a bit of a system studier. and it sort of does, it helps you through life if you can systemize almost everything and make things into good systems. Oh, I did see that drop from the sky then. Yeah, the pallets do sort of flicker from the sky. I know it sounds a funny thing to say, but it's the truth. So if we like... Wow, we've got a lot more pallets than I thought, actually. Yeah, so we're going to like have a load just from the milk alone, which I think we did know this. So let's grab... Yeah, I've really stuffed that up in a way, but by doing it like that. Because I've made it all uneven now. I need to stick... Well, I suppose I could stick that one pallet. If I strap it quickly... Yeah, if you push it, it then goes over the grid and then like will disappear back in and then reappear as it sort of like pushes the pallet back out. But yeah, if once you're about here, I should say we should be alright. And then we can get these 4 done. Yeah, so are we gonna... No, we will. We'll go into a time lapse now. I will stop the cameras as I like... Yeah, once I get to the end of these, because it's going to stop spawning once we run out of bottom... Well, that's what I'm thinking. That it's the bottom line is you're not allowed to put multiple production type pallets in one pallet, even though you can do it with loose. It's a different set of rules for production pallets. Even though it seems a little thing to me, it's obviously Giant's the one who set the rules. You can't do something that it's not allowed to do, which we can quite plainly see that there's no butter spawning even now. There's no extra pallets, and it's got plenty of time. And they are refusing to spawn, so it really is that is a thing. So my next test will be to change that so it's only got butter in it, and if that then appears, I know that I am on the right track and that actually there isn't a sneaky... Well, it's not sneaky. It's Giants obviously really like you to make mods that are small in size. Now, if you could use one pallet... one XML, but like one model. Now I know you can use the same model because I do that all the time. So you can see I use the box palettes and then I put like diffusers on them, so I can change the diffusers and use the same model. Although the model, no, you can. Yeah, no, I can sort of. There's a bit of a trick that you can do that particular sort of thing with. Yeah, there is. You can use the HUD fill of the... No, you've got to have the graphics file to tell the box palette to use the picture, basically, and that I can do. And it's all only one box palette model that is my own. But basically, the XML, it seems to be that it's unique. I think we can get a bit more. Ooh, no, we're missing one. Yeah, and I think we could also probably... I don't know that we could put the butter on. Let's go sell these now. Then I'm going to pop out and I'm going to like do the butter. So I'm going to make a change to the palette because the palette works. I've taken the palette from a working mod, so it's my Pacinator palette, which is one that I made myself. Which, I mean, these are pretty much you've adapted a Giant's one so much so that it really is your own, and I've tweaked things and made it do other things that it that you can't normally do and stuff like that. But it's finding the rules that these work so you can like know what you can and can't do, and not talking to the AI, because the AI always insists that oh no we can do that. I've gone down a rabbit hole at least 2 days on the trot because the AI has insisted that it can make something happen, and I've sort of been very upset when I've wasted a full day on pallets especially. Yeah, I thought I was, but again, really it's as a human being. It's learning the logic. There's no better way. And the more I've seen of the AI, people think they're going to like rule the world and all the rest of it. From what I've seen, it's got a long way to go before it's really useful. Because what I'm seeing is it's quite misleading. It's okay as a glorified search engine. It'll trawl through websites. It's a bit like a special search engine, and it can do some things. It can go away. It has taught me some things. It's not been a waste of time me speaking to the AI, because it's assisted me in syntax, and it can check things as well. But it does have a nasty habit of like changing things that it thinks you can do that I've said don't do that, because I'm a modder and I know how it doesn't work like you're trying to do. And I've never thought about that, did I? That's your path. Well, I suppose we would be selling to the public, so I suppose there's a certain amount of sense to this. Really? It's walking through me on me pallet. I do love it when you see these type of things working like that. That is quite hilarious. Right, okay. So I didn't see how much we earned at all. So I'm going to pop out, and then we'll get me butter, which we've got so much butter, it's unbelievable. So I'm going to just put this down here, and I'm going to see you shortly. Right, now actually I'd made a bit of a mistake on this, so I don't think it's possible anyway. I really do think that I'm right in what I'd sort of discovered, and I don't think, but I've put this new pallet as butter 1, which means the form of it should change a little, and it should spawn, because I've changed the name to butter 1, and it will look for this particular pallet to spawn. Yeah, that it's, as you go to, I must check my distances, the draw distances on the models. That's interesting. So it doesn't like that pallet at all, even though it's butter 1 inside. There's something I've not done right that I've done on my other pallets that I've forgotten. You know, something that intrinsic that I would have remembered at the time, that's definitely not liking that model at all. And it's, yeah, it's true, it's not. Even though I've seen the pallet spawn, that's why I thought I was safe to do this, because I've seen the pallet spawn on other mods. So I've changed it to butter 1, and I've told it the new... that's intriguing. Is it the only thing? Yeah, I was going to do another test as well, to see if there were 2 things left to spawn, but I don't think there is. I think there's only butter. Yeah, so... although it says butter, it's real butter 1. So yeah, there's only butter left to spawn. So that was a bit of a fail. Right, I'm going to stick things back because it's more important that we get on with the Let's Play. So see you shortly. Hello and welcome. Right, yeah, you don't want to know how long this has taken me to actually get to this point. I've tested like names, I've tested palettes. It's a dodgy XML file. It's literally, obviously, it does be really useful for being IT, where you can literally know the kind of ways that you should test something. So this is the new palette that I created not long back, with like a different kind of box. Instead of the paper box, it's more of a like strong plastic box that's, you know, like it doesn't look like it's got a very... yeah, I might alter the graphics so that you can see it's got a lid that moves rather than like as if it's a seal box. Although I suppose it... no, yeah, I would like to do that where it's got a box lid. This was just an initial test for the Pacinator. So I've given it its own unit. I would like to use this for everything, but in a way it's boring in another way, because in some ways I like the fact that the dairy section has got dairy on it and the soup factory's got the different soup icons on. It would save, like, Giants would like it in a way, but in another way it wouldn't. Do they have to have 7,000? Yeah, I made them 7,000. So again, I was testing all manner of things. I thought, let's just give a real good test. And being as you're not figuring it out, but it does boil down to if I change the XML to point to either this or the butter, the working butter one, it just didn't work. So I thought, well, is it the i3D file? So I tested the i3D file with the working butter XML, and it, as you can see, it pops fine. So it's definitely not that. It really is. I need to change my me start point for the where these spawn. Right, so I need to be careful, because if I knock that in, it will go straight like that. Yeah, it will. I thought I'd got that then. The hand was quicker than the eye. Yeah, so let's get this sold. I am going to... yeah, now that we know what it is and the excitement is all over... when I say excitement, I don't mean excitement. Yeah, let's get this all sorted. Well, there's a lot of this, if I remember rightly. So I've got this, and the main thing is... mind you, the other thing is... I think we'll do the pallets this session. I think we'll do this lot as well. Well, there's less than 5,000 litres of some, but there's there's 3 lots on this lot, so that shouldn't take too long to do. So I think we'll do that as well. We'll do this and the pallets, and I think next session, because it's well, if we time lapse it shouldn't take too long. I might record it over 2 sessions because it will be a bit of a monster, definitely. So right, let's crack on anyway. Yeah, because it's still going to be a long session, and we have got money to earn, and we are going to earn some money as well. So this will be quite nice. We can buy those fields and really do well. Yeah, I'm sort of very chuffed with where we've got to, and it, to me, I don't know, recently I'm quite happy with. I think sometimes you can try and force to do too much. I mean, we have gone very production rich on this one, but it's not really necessary. Now, it's only a natural development of the areas that the farm's in, basically just centering on, to begin with, the grass business, and then obviously always the plan was, I mean, we were given a grass field, so really you would, wouldn't you? You've not got much choice about doing anything else but the grass business with a massive grass field. Especially, we didn't have a seeder or a planter, so we sort of were put on a path by the map maker initially, and we followed the path, and look, it is paying dividends now. We have got, yeah, I mean, businesses are flourishing. It's taken a while though, even with doing the buying and selling business, it's still been quite rife with problems, and obviously we've tried to increase, but I think most of that was down to me trying to go into other things, and maybe a little too early. You know, maybe I didn't need to. That's my trouble. Everything with me is, instead of, yeah, I do tend to push a little bit and try and rush things. So I should be able to, if we I don't know why I'm doing this, because we've not got, mind you, if we go to grab the other pallets as well, I think I haven't done anything with the Tiger car, not at the minute, because this was my top priority, trying to get these new pallets sorted. Oh, that is the point. We're going to need to follow this. Yeah, because we need to load with this. So, this is true actually. Imagine, no, we could sell these. No, we still need to. Yeah, I suppose I know what I mean. You're right. I need to take the telehandler. I suppose it wouldn't. If we're gonna, yeah, if we get a cheap telehandler, it wouldn't be a bad idea to actually run across to the other one with the telehandler. But I think for now we'll just put the tractor on follow with the telehandler. I think is probably not a bad idea. Right, so I'm going to say my words. We know what we're doing, so let's get this sold. I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. That is so strange. So very strange to see them walking along your thing. I never thought of that. You don't always think of the little consequences, do you, to your actions. Right now then, this is going to get serious. Now, we said we were going to lease... We checked what's on the sales. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we're going to lease the BI Industries trade. Oh, we need to grab the lorry as well, don't we, from down the bottom? We do. If we're going to use that kind of... We've not got a large enough one. I should have bought the BDBSB one. I knew it. I knew we should have done it. Right, so then we don't... Yeah, this is not the tractor we need for this job. We do need one of the biggies. Either... Well, we could go for the really biggie, but I don't want it to be the all about that tractor. Everything is all about that tractor all of the time. So, yeah, I'm not trying to feature just that. That's a bit slow. So where is the... Swather... You'll do nicely. Still not the fastest. You should pick your fast tractor. Did we leave it over there, though? If it's over there, then you can forget it. Oh, the lorry's over there. Of course it is. Sometimes I am so blind as a bat. As in, like, I'm always been one of those people, like, my focus is on what I'm doing. It's not that you're blind. You see it, but you don't take it in. Which tractor are you? Yeah, you are the fastest tractor we've got, so it makes perfect sense. The Sintrac is also fast, but it's not been upgraded because we couldn't afford it, whereas now we can. Yeah, now we can afford and to buy that new front, and we're going to do our honey as well. So, yeah, let's get that on follow. It's not much slower. The lorry isn't really terribly slow, so... Right, anyway, let's go back into that time, otherwise it really is going to be a monster session, which it really is anyway. So yeah, I'm going to say my words. I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. Right, I know we've got a little tiny bit left, but it's still going to probably be good tomorrow as well. I shouldn't have bought that thing. It was below our thing. I was forgetting we're at 2 million. So we shouldn't have bought anything under 200,000. Well, obviously our thing for the Sin track I should have bought, but that was a little bit fortuitous that it finally arrived. So we broke 2 million. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go through till tomorrow morning. We did do the animals. I know we did. I'm just checking because the amount of times. Yeah, we did definitely. Yeah, over my career as a virtual farmer, I have allowed a few cows to suffer a little under my. Me sort of doing these things a little bit. So yeah, right. Let's go through till 12 o'clock. We'll check the sales, but it's very unlikely we've got going to get anything that's 200 grand like plus. So. But we will, of course. Oh, vehicle leasing, of course. I think we'll keep it because I think we'll probably have some more. The other thing is we need to grab the grass bales out of there and like put those in the things. Obviously, I would imagine. I don't know. Let's have a look. Let's show everybody. So I'm not sure myself, to be honest. So super self-sufficiency has got no grass. It will need more water though, and. Super biogas is still processing a lot of silage though, so that is still going to be. Wait, I have noticed on the hour the tick up, so that is quite amazing. This has done us proud, really amazing. Oh, it's got 95,000 litres in again, so let's just quickly grab that. Now it's come across. Thought I would have got all that. Yeah, so they're really phenomenal. I don't think I've ever in all. I mean, to be honest, Rhombos. Yeah, we may have done the same on Rhombos. We also had the industrial BJ in the end on Rhombos Road. So again, we're very similar sort of setup because it's got huge fields. Only we went arable as well. An awful lot of arable we did on, like we're going into it now. Rhombos, the field prices were just so very reasonable that you could afford to buy really big fields. And of course, we went big as you would, and it was so big it was uncomfortable. It was really big and it was hard. Each session, it would have taken like 3 or 4 hours, even with 2 or 3 harvesters. I mean, we had like double harvesters, triple harvesters. Even my beets harvesters, I think I had 3 in the end, and that was one of the smaller fields. So it really was one of those let's plays that really schools you. We even did well out of everything else as well, so yeah, it really is it's the only nasty thing about the corner silo is it's very close, which is done on purpose. It's a silo that's not got very much in the way of like space at the bottom. In other words, you can stick it just about anywhere because it is tight, but you've got to pay for that. What I mean is it's tough because because of the grate size, basically, the nozzle has got to be fairly close to the body. Basically, simple as that. Maybe a little bit more. I put it out a little bit more than it is. I think I've gone a bit too mad because I could go to the edge of the grate if I really wanted. So, again, it was quite a long while back, but so I think was a 20-odd thousand litres. Let's do this to the end for now. We've got to put the grass in the morning. I'm not like doing that at 1 o'clock in the morning. I draw the line at that. But I think we did have 20 tons. No, we didn't. We just did it. I did it without even thinking. Right, smashing. So that's every last little iota, I believe, of digestate. Oh, okay, not quite. There's somewhere kicking around. So that's what I mean. There's still another. I mean, yeah. The other thing is obviously the biogas plant has got like 777,000 still to process. That's going to also produce an awful lot more digestate. So we may well. Right, where were we? Yes, I do phone calls, so I literally dropped it straight away. So I'd like to go, even if it's been, mainly was a time lapse, so it may be a longer session, but I'd like to go through to tomorrow so that we can actually spend some of that cash that we've actually earned and sell those few items. So let's go through. Now, they need to be very expensive items if we're to buy them. They've got to be more than 200,000 or about that. So even those 3 amazing items, they're still not, I shouldn't have bought that other one. I'd sort of into a bit of a habit. So let's knock down, in fact, no, let's go up to, down to 4 o'clock in the morning. And then I'd like to get into daylight hours is what I'd like to do. So we can actually buy the fields that we discussed so that we can see a bit of a, we'll class that as close enough. I mean, because it is a 200 grand item, isn't like that. We're not going to keep it. I know it literally is for the, just for the cash. No, still got 500 options. Rim color. That'll do. Yeah, I am also going to do, I was thinking about it. Obviously, I've been doing this Extreme series, and although I like it, the second-hand equipment, the used equipment mod, it really is, I think, fits start from scratch well. But I know I don't want to, like, it'll be a bit like the fertilizer mod. I am a little bit like that, obsessive. I find a good thing and I'll go, and it'll be on every single let's. But why have we just lost like a lot of cash? I would say the production cost must have been expensive. So that we can legitimately buy. We've got my, oh no, we just we just spent a fortune on equipment, Mr. Smith. Get with it. I was gonna say, no, we are not having that, even though, yeah, we're definitely not. So let's pop down the stock. We'll do the animals next session. I just wanted to do this because obviously we were talking about buying. So let's see what we've actually got when we've sold all this shed load of equipment that we've got down here. We've got the Sintrack now with, with both of its hitches. So let's get this little lot sold. And I mean, the equipment, again, we can buy new equipment. I've not limited that. So I'm going to play a couple of Let's Plays that are more traditional, where the growth is just going to be down to... Now, obviously, I've got to try to balance this with hard economy. So what I might do is a more traditional... either new farmer start or a start from scratch where it is 500 grand, you know, proper amount, where I'm not, you know, doing this buying and selling. I want to do a Let's Play where I'm not doing the selling. I would still buy the good items in the sales and would still order from the used equipment mod, but I'm not allowed to do the buying and selling of things to make any profit. I'm just going to say that in advance so that it's just reliant upon the Let's Play. Now that is going to be tough because it still is hard economy. Yeah, and most new farmer starts really you get nasty equipment and stuff like that. So yeah, we should sort of go with that premise, I think. So another tree harvester. So wow, yeah, we're going to make some profits, aren't we, really? Yeah, it's just that I'd like to... I always think... I mean, I knew we were going to do well. We could see that. And obviously, the goods that I sold at the self-marketing, you get a 33% markup, which is the one thing that I do think is fantastic on hard economy. It doesn't make up for the fact. It almost did when it was at 50%. Almost pushed prices back up to the point where you were almost on normal economy. Which then sort of like, well, why are you on hard economy? But it does make sense if you're selling things yourself. So that's why I knocked the amount down to 33% rather than a full... oh no, this is ours. Don't sell that, please. Yeah, well, I thought, no, I don't want anyone to sort of, or myself to even be able to think, well, you basically, you may as well play normal economy. But I did always want to do self-marketing because it is... legitimately so, something that you would make more profit. So I think 33% is not a terribly bad markup. I mean, it's also easy to work out, is the other thing. I could do a 20%, and that's not awful either. Again, I'm thrashing ideas around. I always... Wow, 600,000 we made from the selling of gear. Seriously, that's tremendous. I mean, lucky as well, obviously. You know, with the actual items that we got. Now, was this... Oh, this is the 40th... No, this is for us. So we did have another... That's right, BDB SSBs. I remember it now, for the 40,000 litre limit one. Yes, so that's going to come in useful. So, $2,627,121. So what are we going to buy? Or we could literally buy everything we wished, which was definitely field 12. What have we got? Barley. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. We could, well, yeah, we were going to go grains anyway, so actually it's done us a massive favour. Yeah, we should have a look at the fertilisation state. And wheat, I think, that's even good as well. Oh my life, this is perfect. You couldn't write this, could you really? Wow. And field 6 I don't think has been planted at all. It hasn't, so this is a choice. Should we buy this one, this monster of a field? Split it into 2, or... It's a bit of a monster, isn't it? It's a long way away, but... I'm not sure. I'm not sure if, like... Field 8 or 9 is probably... No, it is right next to us. How much is it? Oh, this has gone big now. Right, I think that's it. I think that is enough. So we've got 21, which is the centre. This is going to be big. Now, the one thing I always do find with this kind of Let's Play is when you've had just one field and you've got all of your equipment for that one field, everything's sweet. Is it? Yeah, it is until you go and buy other fields. Now, we've got the harvesters and we can... so really, if this... We ought to do oats. If we're going to do like... grains, wheat, barley, and obviously we've missed canola, so really that would be ideal to do oats in March. So it's amazing. Well, let's just see how the fields are looking as well. Let's have a look at fertilization and all the rest of it. So that one needs, there's a lot of liming needs doing. That one's full of weeds. Well, we've got a sprayer, so I'm not worried. Oh my life. I've tempted, as expensive as it is, to do liquid lime. Field 12 doesn't need lime. We've got one lucky break, and it's fully fertilised. So actually, 12 and 7 are fully fertilised. 5 is half fertilised. So not terrible, really. And that's the one that's going to be planted, so that would be fertilised anyway. So it's just a bit of weeding. A little bit of weeding. A bit of weeding. It seemed a bit more than a bit to me. That seems a bit, rather a lot of weeding. So yeah, but it's not all bad. That's what I'm saying. It really is quite good. So yeah, well, it doesn't really matter about the needs role. So liming a lot. So we do need to buy some lime for all of our new fields. So this monster of a field is very much like Little House on the Prairie because I cannot even see. I can only see the tops of the trees. So it really is a big field, as we already knew. So yeah, tempted to split this in. I think, for grains, are 2 harvesters enough? Because, I mean, the one thing I've got to say, obviously the Mark Thor one, as good as it is, it's not necessarily really good enough for the big fields. I think we need to order another Colossus as well. We could buy one straight out. We could, but then we'd seriously dint the cash. So we don't need it for many months. Of course, we can if we don't get it or something like that. So let's grab another Colossus. Or do we go JHHG? No, let's stick to the Colossus because I nearly always go JHHG. It's fantastic, but it wouldn't be bad if we go the Colossus again, I think. Standard. Yeah, no, it's just like find used. Brilliant. Now, I suppose really I'm playing this wrong because it's swathers. Yeah, it's the swathers that are important because it's only a 9.2 meter header. So really, it's another swather. Or you can always sell that if like. So we do need. Is it classed as a special harvester? I can't remember. Is it in the normal harvesters? The swath. Oh, I think you have to go to the swather pack, don't you? Yeah, because it's special. It might be in the special header section or the windrower section. Yes, it is. We'll go for that. We'll stick them to the same. So let's order another one of those. And also another windrower header. Yeah, so not the mower. Well, I think we've got mowing covered. So let's buy that too. No, let's buy that outright. Come on, yeah, let's buy that straight off. And also we're going to need another one of the special headers, which is the pickup header that we will buy. Well, yeah, because we're not in a rush. Not because I can't afford 32,000. We can, we know, but why would you throw money away just good after bad? So I think what we'll do is we'll order down at the store some liquid lime, and I'm just going to have to like dig deep because I know it's a little bit expensive. Well, I suppose it's expensive because you're comparing it to lime. So I think we'll grab 8. I think we're definitely going to like use a lot. So yeah, we'll do that, and we shall see how far it goes. Because I've never really treated. We've got the massive sprayer. It just seems to me ideal to use such a monster on this fantastic map and make short work of it. Hopefully, well, I'm not about short work, but we shall see. We could also line with traditional means as well. Did we? We did order the BI Industries special fertilizer spreader, didn't we? But I think we'll actually order it for the Xylon like straight out rather than it's nearly right now. It doesn't, so let's buy straight out because we're going to need to lime. We could actually lime in advance, which is really useful. So we've got our big limer, which is, it's a bit slow, and then we've got that limer, which again we can do, which has got a better spread, and then we've got the big one that can like lime too. So we could set a couple going on one field, like field 7 perhaps is small. No, field 12. Yeah, if we let the big guy do 6 and 7. We'll let the 2 that we've got do 12. Oh, no, hang on. Isn't 12 the one that doesn't need liming, does it? Yeah, it's 7. So we'll start the little ones on this, and I might actually do what I said and cut this into 2 little fields. In fact, we could do that now. No, it's got crop. No, we'll leave it. We will. Yeah, we'll manage. We don't want to ruin crop. It's ridiculous. Right, so I'm going to leave it there. So we're down to 1,355,781 after buying half the map. By ordering a load of equipment, buying some equipment. Lorries is one thing that I'm prepared to buy. So we've ordered lorries, but like, just have your favourite lorry for once. Treat yourself to something that you really do like. Would have to be Mantrid's the Roadrunner Plus. Yeah, I do like this a lot. So let's go for let's go for this. I really do like this. Yeah, actually the colours go really well. Let's have a bit of a there's one set of tyres that are like tractor tyres. I think it's I mean that's them. Yeah, narrow twins, but nevertheless the grip on I learned this is something I learned the other day from that you're better to go. I mean, they're not narrow, but there's 2 wheels like that, a good grip anyway, and they're proper tractor tyres. So I think we will. I think there's only those tractor tyres that I actually saw. So, I like that one actually better. Top large we've got already. I'm happy with that. Bull bar. Oh wow, that's a bit. Go on then, let's go for it. It's not exactly shadows and rotate. Shadows only. Rotate only, but we've got the best straight away. What am I looking at? I don't know. Rainbow smoke. Decals all. Engine braking defaults on. Yes. Attachers. Rear trailer pin and ball. 3 points. Can we do all? Both. We can indeed. So excellent. So it's going to be a real workhorse. So yes, beacon style. Oh, 2 definitely. I like those beacons where they like look like really quite special. No, I'm happy with big. I love the options we've got on this. I'm happy with that. We're going to treat ourselves to that. No more waiting for a lorry. You've got to have a bit of a treat when you've like done that well, haven't you? So that's our lorry, definitely. Smashing. So we're going to leave it there. And we've still got $1,210,281 to do what we like with, really. I mean, yeah, with the other things we ought to look at, it's still January, is we've obviously had all that digestate, all of the we've still got a lot of grass to do, but I'd imagine this had 777 and it still has. Now you say that, but it may well have had more grass that it's brought in. I can't imagine it only doing 3,000 litres, really. We do also need to stick the manure in the slurry in, because I should imagine that's really chocker now. Yes, it is. So the slurry will be roughly the same. So that's a lot to stick in to the biogas plant too, which is going to bring more cash. We have the chipping factory, which this is for next year now, but it is true. We have still got quite a lot. Now that is down, seriously. We need to like keep this topped up by chopping a few trees every sort of few months. Super multifabricae. That pretty much keeps up with what it's got. So really that should be spot on. So super self-sufficiency. Now that needs, that's true. We need to put some water in and stick the grass in from the thing. So we're going to do that next session. Grab the grass bales that are on the trailer, stick those in, stick a shed load of water into, and seriously, we may, by the end of January, going through a bit of time, we might actually get some more digestates at the tag end, which, again, I know we don't need the money. It's not about this. Doing the best you possibly can, isn't it? So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. Animals, I know we're going to feed them next session, but I'm going to say 50. We should be at births soon, really soon. So 1 more month and we'll have 95 more animals. And they're not far behind, nor are they. And then 94% out of puberty. And so really, yeah, this is going to be full. I just see what sort of state of play it is. I think I need to work on it. Yeah, we were talking about it in here, actually. We could chop these trees down and then stick my big one and actually move a half of our herd. I mean, let's be honest, the map maker did say, now the price of this is wrong at present. It's because it's a duplicate of my normal one. So really what it says is wrong. But I just want to see how close to finishing this is. It's the original. That's mine. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I think it would work. I need to do a bit of work on it. Not a lot, though. It's nearly done. Yeah, we're nearly there. This is obviously very similar to Rolly Krista's My Cow Pasture. A very basic metal with wooden sort of things in this, based obviously upon, and it's got the Lely. I'm going to have the Lely where you can have it and you can't have it, and it's cheaper without the Lely. So I'm going to switch that option on. So, but it would be nice to have the Lely, actually, really. So we shall see. I don't even light on now. Yeah, so hopefully we really are knocking the ball out of the park with this one. I've got to be honest, because we are on hard economy, but you would not think we were. But I've got to be honest, if you've got a field as big as field 13, it's hard not to make some serious dosh. It just is a really, really massive field. So, I mean, this is going to be, we're getting ready to cut as well in April. So yeah, I mean literally as in like full grown, which is brilliant because we didn't cut it like down badly at the end of the well, we're still dealing with the grass. I think I was definitely right with that anyway. So yeah, all that remains to be said is thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to stick with me on this journey, and I'm going to say goodbye for now.